want to share with you 5 signs that the universe is speaking to you. Now, studies have shown that across many cultures, a lot of people believe that synchronicities, things that happen in your life that seem to coincide with things that are going on in your life that make perfect sense. And so today, I want to show you how you can recognize the universe, divine, God working in your life. I believe that Spirit is always active and at work and is trying to guide and direct you. The way shower and teacher, Jesus the Christ, said it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You live in God. God is living and expressing as you all the time, and that presence is always speaking to us. We just need to learn how to listen. So the 5 signs that the universe is talking to you is, first of all, it's very important that you experience a sense of calmness and detachment within yourself. You see, the divine guidance is not going to shout at you. It often speaks to you in a quiet whisper. And so you need to be able to get still and calm and quiet within yourself to discern, to listen, to hear what the universe is saying to you. And it usually is when you are calm. Your guidance is going to it's going to be like a whisper. It's going to be like a still small voice, as the Bible speaks about the still small voice. You see, you've got to be able to go within yourself and not be attached to the outcome. You got to go in and have the attitude of, as Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he said, "Not my will, but thine be done." Not my will, but thine be done. So you go in and you listen to what are the different options I'm considering? What are the different options? And you got to be able to be willing, detached enough to be willing to go any direction. See, a lot of people seek guidance from the universe, from Spirit, with their mind already made up as to what they want. And so it's not thy will, it's more like, my will, God, my will be done, not yours. That's not the way to go. The universe is much greater than we can even imagine. We are nowhere near intelligent enough to figure out what God, what the universe is up to. And that's why it's important to say, okay, look at your options and say, okay, Spirit, I am open to whatever direction you want me to go in. You can literally think of your different options and go, okay, I'm willing to this, I'm willing to that, I'm willing to this. You can even throw out options that you don't even want. Let's say you really want to be a doctor, okay? And but you're not quite sure. Is that what the universe, God, is guiding me to do? You can put other options out there. I should be an auto mechanic. I should be, should I become an accountant? Should I be a doctor? Should I be a animal trainer? I mean, whatever you want to put out there, and consider the options and ask. The great yogi sage said, ask at the spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows, and then listen in your heart for a response. You can consider the different options with a state of detachment and get calm and quiet and ask. The same is about anything. Should I ask this person out on a date? You get still and calm and you ask and you wait for an answer. You don't go in with a predetermined answer, because now your emotions are going to get in the way. This is what I want. And so you go in with that, and then you're not going to be really open to that calm, quiet, still small voice. So that's, first of all, you want to be calm, you want to be detached. A second sign that you know that you're tuning in to divine guidance is to see if you feel joy and enthusiasm about the direction that you're considering. Do you feel joy when you think about this option? Does the inner guidance that you're receiving inside yourself, does it feel like an inner joy that's deep inside of you, an inner sense of a yes? I'm not talking about emotion again, like, should I marry this guy? You want it so badly, and then you go, and then it's this excitement. Yes, I want to marry him. Must be God's guidance. Not necessarily. Go inside and see, is this a feeling of joy that's deep inside, a sense of a rightness that's inside of you? That's what we're talking about. Do you feel some enthusiasm that bubbles up inside that feels like yes for that direction? So that's important. And it's important to recognize that you could be wrong. You could be wrong, but you're sincerely willing and open to try to discern what is the right way to go. And one of that second sign is there joy? Is there enthusiasm? I remember speaking to a great spiritual teacher. He was a student of the great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda. And I told him, I said, his name was Donald Walters, a.k.a. Kriyananda. I said, Kriyananda, I've been just trying to think about God all day long and just think about God all day long. And I get bored. But when I was getting ready to go on a ski trip, I felt this enthusiasm. And he said to me something very interesting. He said, Justin, for you, it's not God in a cave, but it's God through things. In other words, you think of the yogis who live in a cave somewhere, right? All they're doing is meditating, and that's their whole life, is just being in a cave, meditating on God. That's not for me. I need to live. I need to have experiences. And so I felt this inner enthusiasm about going skiing. When I go skiing, I can enjoy God through skiing. I can enjoy God through nature. I can enjoy God through the companionship, through the whole experience, you see. And he said to me, Justin, follow your enthusiasm. So where do we feel that enthusiasm? Where do we feel that joy? That is a sign that the universe is talking to us. The universe is giving us an indication of what it is that we could be doing. The third sign from the universe unveils itself. Let's say you're not sure which way to go. The third sign can unveil itself as you take action on what you think is the right path for you to do. So once you've gotten calm and quiet and you've consulted your inner self, you've consulted joy, a sense of rightness, now it's time to take some action. Now you might want to just take little steps just to check it out. Take some steps, check in again, check in along the way. Don't just run for the horizon. Okay, this is what I should do. But check in along the way, because you might not have the guidance exactly right. But often it's better to take some steps than to do nothing. It's better to get the car moving than to stay parked. God can't steer a parked car. So if you're not sure what to do, take some steps. Oftentimes, guidance is revealed as you take action. There's a beautiful story of St. Francis of Assisi, the famous saint, who was in a dilapidated chapel in Assisi, and he was praying. And all of a sudden, he had a vision of God speaking to him, saying, St. Francis, rebuild my church. Well, St. Francis looked around at the dilapidated chapel and thought he was being directed to rebuild the chapel. So he started to work. In the dead of winter, he was hauling these big stones to build this chapel. And other young men saw him doing this. Some of them laughed at him. Others started to help him because they were inspired by him. And he built this beautiful church, this beautiful chapel. But as he went about it, what he came to realize is that God wasn't talking about that little chapel. He was talking about rebuilding the faith in God, because the faith had drifted away. There was a lot of skepticism and doubt in those days because of corruption in the church. And so the people were inspired by his example. They were inspired by his faith. And so he started to rebuild people's faith in God. You see, he took little steps that were in front of him, and then he saw the bigger picture as he went along. So you may need to take some action, some steps, and see what happens. Begin to discern where you're being guided. Does it still feel like the right direction to go in? So calmness and detachment is step number 1. 2, discerning the joy and enthusiasm. 3, take some action. And then 4, see, you might try pushing the guidance away just to check. You know, maybe you keep getting this impulse to take a certain direction. You might want to test it sometimes and just push it away, ignore it, and see if it keeps coming back. If it keeps coming back, then it very well may be the universe talking to you, because you've said, okay, I dismiss that for now, and yet it keeps coming back. So that's a sign that the universe is trying to talk to you. The 5th sign the universe is talking to you is, how does what you're doing, the guidance you're following, how is it affecting others? Is it really upsetting people in a big way? Are your actions really upsetting people? Well, you might want to step back and see, rethink it. Take a look again and make sure you're on the right path. Make sure you're really following your inner guidance with Spirit, because you know how the impact it has on others may be a sign that you may be off the path you're supposed to go on. So take a look at that and discern, all right, am I really going in the right direction, or am I creating a lot of unrest and disharmony around me? Maybe I'm wrong. So a sign of the universe is harmony with people that are going to be involved in your decision and your path. It's not always the case. A lot of people got upset with Jesus, but it was their issues, it wasn't his issues. He was teaching the truth. He was taking the right path for him, and they got upset. Well, if people are getting all upset around you, you might want to step back and make sure that you're discerning what the universe is trying to tell you in your way to go. So as you practice these 5 things that we just talked about, then you will much more likely be following the signs the universe is giving you, following the guidance and direction that Spirit wants you to go in. And trust, even if you're not really sure, trust that you're being guided. Be willing to follow Spirit's guidance, and you will be guided.